know, I've said that from day one. It's just the opportunity, because I'm not shocked to be here. I'm not dismayed. I'm not overwhelmed by, you know, this spectacle, this press conference. I felt like I had what it took to take on the best in the world. But just being afforded the opportunity was something that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. There's just no way, and I think it's safe to say that there was no way that I would have been able to fight one great fighter after the next outside of this tournament. So being in this tournament and once again get the opportunity to showcase and also, you know, just showcase and prove to myself what I had. It's just something that wouldn't have happened outside of this tournament.
High stakes. There's a lot on the line. My WBC title means the world to me. After I lost it to Mikkel Kessler out in Denmark, I realised how much that title means to me. When I won it back in a flawless victory against Arthur Abraham, and given the biggest beating that anyone's ever given before or after that fight, I realised that belt's here to stay. So, you know, when you've got that on the line and a new title on the line and a Super 6 Cup, as we call it, you know, it's high stakes, and we both mean business. So, you know, we're not going to be handshakes and hugs. Maybe not until after the fight. There's respect before the fight and there'll be respect after the fight, but from my point of view, not during the fight. And it's as simple as that.
What was the question you asked, though? Didn't you ask
No, the other question was that I read that he predicted a knockout for this fight, Carl Froch. So I just wanted him to comment on that.
Yeah, that's right. I strongly believe that if there's going to be a knockout in this fight, it's going to come from me. I don't feel Andre Ward's got the punching power. And even if he did, you know, I've got the grand action. I've been dubbed as having the grand action. I can't be stopped. I'm a beast. It's as simple as that. You can't knock me out. And you can laugh all you want, but I will not be stopped. If there's a knockout in this fight, it will come from me, that's for sure. I've got the ability to hit Andre Ward on the chin with one shot and stretch him out there. He hasn't. You know, the best he can do is try and win a points decision, which is fair enough. He's got to try and use his abilities to the best he can and try and steal a points verdict off me. But I'm in there trying to take him out, as simple as that.
Ralph Bohm, I'm a doctor with the New York State Athletic Commission and a freelance writer. The big elephant in the auditorium here, Bute. Anybody want to comment on possible future plans?
I really have no comments about Bute. Bute's doing what he has to do. He's winning the fights he's supposed to win. And time will tell, but it's all about Carl Froch right now.
Hello everyone, Francis Walker of blackathlete.com. My question is for Carl Froch. This is going to be a 5th fight in the Super 6 tournament. How would you compare Ward to the other fighters that you fought in this tournament?
Every fight is different. It's an old cliche, styles make fights. Obviously, Andre Ward's not like any other fighter. If I was to compare him with anyone, it'd be Andre Durrell. You know, both Olympic medalists, and both like to box and move. Both got quite fast hands. I think Durrell's probably got more speed in terms of punching speed than Ward. And he's very talented, he's got a lot of ability, but maybe he's not got the mental toughness and the strength that you need, the concentration levels to perform and compete time after time at this level. So, you know, it'd be a mistake for me to compare Andre Ward with any other fighter I've fought in the tournament. But, you know, he comes a close match to Durrell.
This question is for Andre Ward. Andrew Rosario, LatinoSports.com. When you hear Carl say that he's going to knock you out and you can only win this fight by decision, what's your reaction?
I love it. I love it. This is what big time boxing is all about. And like I've said before in the media, Carl is the first person that said that, and he won't be the last. But I understand what I bring to the table, and I understand what it looks like on the outside. I understand what it looks like. But getting in there and feeling those punches is something totally different. And I'll tell you guys, I'm hitting hard enough, trust me.
This question is directed for Andre Ward. I'm Mike Natalino from Mike's Night at the Fight. Carl has said clearly he plans he can knock you out. You have, in this tournament, showed that you could adapt to any style. Can you enlighten us on what style you think that you will bring to the table that night that will be effective against Carl Froch?
What style that I'm going to bring?
Yes.
Well, I like to be a chameleon. And regardless of what Carl Froch comes, the key is to have an answer. And that's what makes a great fighter, and that's what makes a winner. And I can't get into specifics because we haven't fought yet. But the key is in the moment, when it's all on the line, doing what you got to do to get that win, and that's what I plan on doing.
Thank you. Carl, I do have one question for you as well. I have been around since Claire, I've stated before, I was in the casino in Foxwoods when your first trip over here, the night before you knocked Jermaine Taylor out. Obviously, this is a long road. Do you say that Andre Ward is the toughest opponent that you faced in your career? Would you go as far as saying that?
It's like you said, until the fight happens, you can't really draw judgment on whether or not it's the toughest fight. You know, how do you find toughness? Is it somebody who can ability to take a shot, an ability to throw a hard punch, or somebody who's awkward and moves around? You know, there's different styles that make a fight tough. So you know, it's no tougher, or maybe tougher in certain areas. But you know, I don't really want to exploit and talk about the areas, the strengths and weaknesses of Andre Ward. I just know what I have to do on the night. I recognise you as well. How you doing?
How you been?
Mike Bernier from FightNews.com. I have two questions. The first is for the promoters. How is Atlantic City agreed upon? And the second question is, you both have two opponents in common, Kel Kessler and Arthur Abraham. How is that footage going to work to your strategy in this fight?
Well, to answer the first one, I kind of mentioned it in the opening comments I had that Don Marandino, president of Caesars and Harrah's on the East Coast, has been very, very aggressive bringing the biggest events to Atlantic City, not only in boxing, but in entertainment. And they were very much, Ken Condon sitting right here, they were very much interested in this fight and was very aggressive going in that direction. As you know, Carl and Andre mentioned Las Vegas. Las Vegas calendar was pretty tight. We just felt the best fit was the East Coast to do this fight. And I'm happy that we're doing it because it is a special event out here on the East Coast. And I think it's a great opportunity for the fans out here to get a chance to see Andre Ward up close and personal. From the other aspect of it, the common opponents, you know, we haven't had any conversation saying, hey, you beat Kessler, Froch lost to Kessler, you beat Abraham this way, he beat him that way. You know, all that stuff through out the window. It's all about October 29th. Andre's a young man. He's still getting up there. He's got a lot more to show out there. And on October 29th, I just believe that there's going to be more to Andre Ward than any of us have ever seen because he's hungry for information and talent. And he puts it all in there and he grinds it out like a veteran lawyer who knows all the different angles on how to get his client off a guilty plea. So in this case, I believe we're going to see the best Andre Ward. I know we're going to see the best Andre Ward. And come October 29th, he'll just take that other step to what he wants is that greatness.
Yeah, just from our point of view, I mean, you've touched on the common opponents in terms of where the fight's being held and how we agreed on Atlantic City. Matchroom Sport came into this tournament quite late on, but we inherited a contract that gave us little room for manoeuvre in terms of where we could possibly have the fight. We have to remember, this is an American event, this is a Showtime event. We would like nothing more than to have brought this to the UK in front of 30,000-40,000 fans, but we always knew that was unrealistic. You know, this is an event for Showtime, and this is an event that has taken place predominantly in America, so the final was always going to be in America. Vegas obviously was muted, but you know, Carl Froch is a freak of nature, inside and outside of the ring. I don't probably know any other fighter who really doesn't even ask where the fight is. He just wants to know the date and who he's fighting, and that's it. And I don't think there's any other fighter on the planet who would go where he's gone to have these fights. You know, I'm not sure how Andre would have taken it, a trip to London and fight over there, but it was just important to us that a neutral venue was secured. And whilst it's in the US, and you know, many will not call it neutral, we know that we're in good hands with the Atlantic City Commission. And it's a fair trip for Andre as well. He hasn't come out of his hometown that often, like Carl has, and we've been at Atlantic City before, but from our point of view, Carl is probably the easiest person to deal with because he just needs a ring to do his thing, and he doesn't care where that is, and he'll go anywhere to get the job done. So it was very easy from our point of view.
And I believe we have one final question.
Yes, my name is Brian Parker. It's from BoxingMMATalk.com. This question is directed to Mr. Froch. Mr. Hearn just touched on this a little bit, but I want to know, do you think you have a mental advantage, given that, like Mr. Hearn just said, you don't mind going anywhere to fight, and Mr. Ward has barely been out of California?
It's definitely a point worth bringing up. Yeah, Andre's boxed out of Oakland a couple of times. I've been in California most of his career, so it's nice to fight at home in the comfort zone, which is a phrase that's used so often these days. You know, to be brought out of your comfort zone is definitely a disadvantage. For me, it's not a disadvantage because I'm so used to travelling. I'm so used to performing on the road. I won the world title in Nottingham against Jean Pascal. John Pascal was at his best right before he went on to win the title at light heavyweight after losing to myself. He went on to perform brilliantly against Chad Dawson. You know, he did very well since then. But since that fight, I've been on the road. I've had Andre Durrell at home, and then I've been away again. After Pascal, I boxed Taylor in Connecticut, and I've been back to Atlantic City. Been to Finland, I've been to Denmark. So the homely comforts for me are very far away, and I'm used to not being in that class of comfort. So how Andre responds to that, we don't know. It might not be a problem. He's probably well travelled from the amateurs. He's an Olympic gold medalist, and you fight all over the country, all over the world to win medals. And I did that as an amateur, not in the Olympics, in the World Championships. Fought all over Europe, fought in Canada, fought in America. So you sort of get used to travelling. But as a professional, he's having to come away for the first time. So it might just be a little chink in his armour for the first time. So you've raised a very valid point there.
Real quick, Jimmy, before we sign off, I just want to ask Andre one question. How many times have you fought in your hometown? Do you know? How many? 4. Carl, I haven't checked your record lately. How many times have you fought in your hometown?
Probably about 14. 14?
Okay, so, when you say the comfort zone, there's no comfort zone for Andre. We were prepared to go outside of California for...
How many fought in California in this tour?
For Jermaine Taylor.
In this tour?
And we were prepared to go outside of California for Andre Durrell. Just so happened that it didn't work out that way. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Come October 29th, nothing will be uncomfortable for Andre Ward. Nothing will be out of his comfort zone. And as Eddie said so succinctly, and I agree with him 100%, give Andre Ward the ring. That's all he cares about, because never once has he ever asked me who he's fighting prior to the tournament. Never once did he ever question anyone who he was fighting outside or inside the tournament. And never once has he ever, as a matter of fact, he hasn't wanted to fight in California in the longest time, mainly just because of the impression that other people give. So coming out to the East Coast is new territory for him, but it doesn't matter because his comfort zone is that ring. Jimmy, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Certainly we have